Hi there, so continuing on from the previous clip, we'll talk a little bit about things that can cause lower back discomfort. Now, we've covered posture in the previous clip number 87, but today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of core strength for lower back health, and then I'll suggest a few exercises that are more of a beginner's level, just to help get things on the way. And if you fancy yourself as more of an advanced core strength person, then that'll come up in a couple of clips time, but it's certainly good to check in with the earlier stuff just to make sure you're building that proper foundation before you progress. So as I alluded to in the previous clip, core strength is really important because the core is your pelvic floor, which we know what that is because we stop the flow using that muscle. We've also got the diaphragm, which helps with our breathing, and then we've got the transverse abdominis, which is like if you imagine a corset running all the way around our body, and it's underneath our, what people would know as their abs. So it's underneath the six pack, it's deeper than that. And then we've got lots of little muscles in our spine. So there's lots of things that make up our core. And these muscles have a really important role in holding our body in a certain position. So if you imagine your spine, if my hand is my head, if you're slumped, you might be like this. So your muscles will be strong in a position that holds your body like this. But that's no good. We want to be upright. So we want our muscles to be strong to hold ourselves in this position. Eventually, if they're strong enough to do that, it'll just happen. It's like standing up. It's not really an effort just to stand there for most of us, right? Because our core muscles are strong enough to hold us there. Otherwise, we'd be like jelly on the floor. So we're just taking that a step further to make sure our muscles can keep us in an optimal posture position. And that's really important, especially for lower back health. So to begin with, so we're talking more of a beginner's level, it's all about moving safely and engaging the correct muscles when we move. So things like when we walk up the stairs, we want to make sure our shoulders are back, and then we've got our neck retraction from clip 3, and we're nice and tall, we're putting our foot down, we're squeezing our butt as we stand to go to the next step, and so on. And there's a little bit more on the importance of glutes for lower back coming up in a few clips time as well. So it's all about understanding what muscles should be working and when. And this is something that sounds super complicated to some people, but it can just be natural. We've all learned to walk at some point in our lives, right? So we can do this as well. It's just taking it that little bit further because we all get into bad habits, especially when we're working from home for so long. So if I cast your mind back to clip number 2, where we're doing the sway, that's all about feeling your transverse abdominis. So that muscle that goes around the body that's deep, it's underneath the abs. It's all about engaging that muscle. And that's something you can do when you're brushing your teeth in the morning. It doesn't have to be, this is going to be my lower back exercise time of the day. It can be integrated. Clip number 4 looks at ins and ups. So that's what I call it. It's activating the pelvic floor. Something that we should all be doing, ladies and gents, pre and post pregnancy, whether you intend to get pregnant or not. Everyone should be doing pelvic floor exercises. And again, that is something that can help with lower back pain. Take it from me, I've been there. I've had a lower back injury and the ins and ups have really helped me. Then you've got clip 25, the leg slide, clip 37, Superman. These kinds of things are really good because we don't want to just learn to engage our core while we're still. We need to learn how to do it whilst we're moving, because in life we move. We're made to move. Our bodies are made to move. So it's really important to learn how to activate the core and do it while we're moving as well. So there's 3 main rules that I've come up with that you need to bear in mind when you're doing these core exercises and any Pilates exercises. So referring to your TA, so it will feel like your tummy muscles, but it's actually underneath that. They shouldn't be doming, so that is, they shouldn't be pushing out. Sometimes when an exercise gets difficult, instead of keeping the tummy in, it pushes out, and we don't want that because that's not supporting your spine correctly. Before it pushes out, sometimes it kind of quivers, like out and in, it, because it's working really hard. That can't happen either. And you shouldn't hold your breath because that affects the pressure. We call it intra-abdominal pressure. That affects the pressure in your body. And that pressure is made by your core muscles working together properly. And the pressure is important because it helps support your body, it helps support your spine when you're making certain movements. So you should breathe naturally. If the Pilates breathing patterns that are talked about in the videos are too much, that's not a problem. If you can't breathe, if you can't not quiver, if you can't not dome, then that exercise is too hard for you. You need to bring it back, make it more simple. And there's lots of more simple exercises on the bite-sized Pilates series, or you can contact me and ask if you're not sure. Nail those and then increase. It's not like a run when you can really, really, really push yourself, even if your technique goes for the last couple of minutes, but you got there in the end. It doesn't work like that. Work at your level, make sure you can do that properly, and then inch above. And there's no harm in inching above for a couple of reps and then realising it's too hard and coming back down again. But it's really important that you work at your level and you make this easy for you and integrate this into your life so it doesn't become an effort.